Thank you.
$79 got two investigates one night at the Empyrion Towers, formerly the Menlo in downtown Oakland.
How you doing, man?
Within minutes, we caught a glimpse of why some people who stay here call it hell. Holes in the walls, garbage on every floor, the elevator broken.
You live here?
Yeah.
We met 16-year-old Dana and her brother in the lobby. For several months, they say a tiny room on the 4th floor has been home to them and their mom, Nicole.
Came into this room, came into the hotel, and I cried. I did not know it was as bad as this.
She says domestic abuse forced her and the kids out of their house. $260 a week does not get them a private bathroom.
When we first got here, my son took a shower, and then he said that brown stuff was coming out of the water. This situation, I don't know. I don't know how to get out. And this is the terrible part about it, is that this is the only place that's keeping a roof over our head without us being all the way in the streets.
Just walking in the front door, you know that you are in a place that is not maintained, that is in a horrible condition.
Amy Sakani is an attorney for the Eviction Defense Center in Oakland and represents about 50 tenants of the Empyrean Towers.
People are seriously getting sick.
The last time residents sought legal action, federal investigators caught then-owner Richard Singer on hidden camera.
It's something just to get going.
Paying a man to burn down his own hotel in 2011. Documents show a woman named Alice Zay and her mother bought Singer's company and his hotel just before he went to prison. In a recent deposition, Zay denied she was the owner, but she pointed to a family trust of which she's a member. Zay also blamed tenants for some of the damage. Those holes in the wall, Zay says they were left behind by firefighters battling a fire at the hotel 7 months ago last July. May we speak to you for a moment about the Empyrion Towers? Zay and her attorney didn't want to talk to us about the conditions at the hotel or who is in charge. Are you in business with Mr. Singer? According to a lawsuit filed last year, Singer went on the payroll with Zay's realty company soon after he was released from prison for the attempted arson. In an email to KTVU, Singer denied any management or ownership interest in the Empyrion Towers, but he wouldn't meet with us to talk about it. Meanwhile, problems at the hotel are mounting.
Debris from the ceiling.
A tenant recorded this video of a leaky ceiling in the lobby in December. We needed a flashlight to make it up this stairway to the 7th floor, where we found more problems.
It looks like the fire escape is right out this window, but as you can see, it's been boarded shut.
That was just one of many problems identified in a recent inspection by the Oakland Fire Department. Missing smoke detectors, sprinkler heads in need of replacement, and extension cords used as permanent wiring. Last week, we came back to the hotel to find out if anything's been fixed, but no one would come to the front desk to talk to us.
Eric with Channel 2. Is there someone here I can talk to about the conditions at the hotel?
No idea, I just work here.
Okay, there's no manager here?
I don't know where is it.
Sakani and her team are now asking Oakland City leaders to step in.
This is a really dangerous, uninhabitable situation, and something has to absolutely get done now.
This family is just trying to survive. Somehow, 16-year-old Dana is managing straight A's in school.
Straight A's?
Yeah, I would make the dean's list.
Now, she and her mom are being tested in ways they never imagined.
How long do you think you can stick it out here?
I don't know.
In the last couple of days, we got our hands on a follow-up inspection by the Oakland Fire Department, prompted in part by what two investigators discovered. Inspectors found that blocked fire escape you saw had been fixed, as well as some of the other problems we identified in our report. So we'll see what happens.
Seeing that tenant there cry, and then her daughter on the dean's list, that's pretty remarkable, but the conditions there, just unbelievable.
And it's something tenants say has been going on for years.
And it affects a lot of people. I mean, you said there are 90 units there, and that's a lot of people.
There are a number of units, and it was a busy place when we were there.
Yeah. Eric, thank you.
Eric, thank you.
And we are on the 6th floor, correct?
Sixth
floor.
Even a trip to the bathroom
Closing the door
is risky at this hotel.
And now she can't get back out again because the doorknob is broken. So the only way to get her out is from the outside.
It's one of several videos.
This is between the 3rd and 4th floors.
Recorded in February at the Empyrion Towers in downtown Oakland by a nonprofit group of attorneys representing tenants who live here.
It is a vacant room, nailed shut.
Thank you.
Two Investigates went undercover and booked a room at the hotel in January. Since then, hotel management patched holes in the walls and cleaned up garbage in the hallways. But a chorus of current residents.
It's all cosmetic. It's all painted over.
Like
we have black
putting a Band-Aid over a gash.
And I came here, I was absolutely shocked.
Including 81-year-old Catherine Bergman, say the most serious problems at the hotel remain. The elevator is still broken, or at least off limits to tenants. Bergman has to take the stairs to the 4th floor.
How is it getting up and down every day?
Well, I fell 3 weeks ago. I was sore for 3 weeks.
Over a few days in late February, not long after Two Investigates' first report, records show Oakland code enforcement issued 20 notices of violation to the Empyrion Towers. Inspectors documented damaged smoke detectors, broken faucets, cracked windows, and more than 90 other violations, some of which have since been fixed.
This is real hands-on code enforcement, I'll tell you.
But the city had issued just 4 violation notices to the hotel all of last year. Despite all of the problems, Oakland's Director of Planning and Building, Rachel Flynn, actually commended management at the Empyrean Towers.
They're going in apartment by apartment to get everything up to code, and it's actually working. So this is one of those success stories where it came to our attention. We have knowledge about how to get a building up to code and maintain it properly, and we have a cooperative owner who's allowing us in.
The same owner, Alice Zay.
May we speak to you for a moment about the Empyrean Towers?
Who dodged Two Investigates questions in January and hasn't returned our calls since then. Tenants say she's ignored their complaints for years.
If an inspector has been to the same unit 2, 3, 4 times, shouldn't there be some enforcement that goes beyond a notice?
You would think so, but sometimes someone will do some, patchwork. In the meantime, we say, okay, and then something new comes up.
Have fines ever been issued to the Empyrean Towers?
I don't know. This is a complicated case. Lots of units, lots of players.
Is the city giving this place a pass?
No. It's just more complicated.
It's just really disturbing.
Amy Sakani with the Eviction Defense Center insists the city should be doing more.
One of the things we would like to see is a receivership put in place here so that somebody, a third party, could step in and help facilitate the repairs, take control of the building.
How you guys doing there?
Good afternoon.
We caught up with a city inspector when he returned to the hotel last week.
We're not allowed to be on TV or anything else, so it's part of our policy.
Can you tell me why no fines have ever been issued to this
Well,
place?
that'll all come out also. There's reasons for it, and they're good reasons.
Even fewer answers from the hotel manager in the lobby.
Can we just talk to you a second about the conditions over here?
Sorry, I don't have any comments, so you have to talk to our attorney. And you guys.
We've been reaching out for a long time and haven't been able to get comment from anybody. Don't you think people here just deserve a response about what you're doing?
While workers scrambled to make some last-minute repairs before this re-inspection, tenant Maria Anist pointed out more problems with her sink and bathroom window. She and her husband say the repairs managers have made hardly amount to a success story.
And they're just doing enough to get by, just to satisfy that guy.
I can tell you when the inspector finished that visit to the hotel, we were waiting outside. He acknowledged there are still violations that haven't been resolved, but he insisted hotel management is moving in what he called a positive direction.
It's such a big building and it has so many units. In your last report, you introduced us to a single mom and her 2 kids. How are they doing?
Well, of course, Julie, you might remember that KTVU viewers really stepped up to raise thousands of dollars for this family after we told their story. I did just talk to the mom, Nicole, yesterday. You see some video over there and her kids. She tells me they're still in the hotel. Unfortunately, she says they are actively looking for a better place to live. And of course, as we all know, housing is so expensive in the Bay Area. What she told me is she doesn't want to get them into a place that the family can't afford long term.
Right.
And then they end up right back where they started.
Be interesting to see in another 3 months. I imagine you're going to follow up on this again, whether all of these improvements are made like they say they're going to make them.
We'll see.
Okay. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you. Tonight, Two Investigates discovers more problems and a code enforcement nightmare at a residential hotel in the East Bay. Now people who live at the Empyrean Towers in downtown Oakland are being threatened with eviction. KTVU's Eric Rasmussen went back to that hotel today and uncovered more unsanitary conditions, even though a city inspector recently signed off on repairs.
A tenant worries that's raw sewage flowing down a wall of his room at the Empyrean Towers in downtown Oakland. He first shared cell phone video of the problem after getting a letter from hotel management over the weekend saying a city inspector signed off that all repairs were completed, pay back rent of $1,100, or face eviction. They sent us the video a few days ago, but we had to see it for ourselves. This was the tenant's closet. You see that nasty black stuff? He says it's been like this since January. At least a dozen other tenants say they also got letters telling them to pay up or get out. Has everything been fixed in your room?
No, no.
Two Investigates first uncovered problems at the Empyrion Towers back in January. While the city now insists most code violations have been fixed, tenants say something stinks, and it's not just the mess on this wall. So you're saying you'd never seen this?
I didn't see that when I was out in my inspection.
We showed our video to City Inspector Gene Martinelli and his boss Rachel Flynn.
So we're dismayed to hear about that we missed this one, and we'll get right back on it immediately.
I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but at this point, seeing that and seeing that you've signed off on the room, it sure seems like something fishy's going on here.
Well, you may have your opinion on that, but if it wasn't intentionally, believe me.
He says the view of this area was blocked during his last inspection. How can I help you? A hotel worker called me into the hallway during our visit today, but he wasn't happy to see our camera. I was minding my own business. Then you asked me to come over and talk to you. Well, we're a package deal. What can I tell you? He certainly didn't want to talk about what we just witnessed. Late today, a plumber came out to the hotel, and so did the city inspector. Other tenants hope he'll take another look at their rooms, too. In Oakland, Eric Rasmussen, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
We heard the complaints of unsafe and unsanitary living conditions. Now a KTVU investigation has sparked legal action on behalf of tenants in this 90-unit residential hotel. Tonight, a major new development. The city of Oakland has filed a lawsuit, and it doesn't just accuse the Empyrion Towers of substandard living conditions. It accuses management of illegal evictions, creating a public nuisance, even beating up tenants. As KTVU's Eric Rasmussen tells us, the lawsuit is asking a judge to force a takeover of that building.
This week it was a leaky pipe and what a tenant suspects was sewage running down the wall. But it's just the latest of many problems at the Empyrion Towers in downtown Oakland, exposed by two Investigates since January.
The piping, the electricity still goes out.
Somehow, city code enforcement inspectors signed off on most of the violations and told us they were fixed. Now, a different message from City Hall.
Are you convinced at this point that that place is a habitable place to live?
We are not. Those are some of the allegations in our complaint. I understand some have been fixed, others have not been fixed, maybe others are recurring.
City Attorney Barbara Parker is suing the owners of the Empyrion Towers, alleging unsafe and unsanitary conditions, including a broken elevator and a long list of other problems going back to 2011, when then-owner Richard Singer went to prison for trying to burn the place down.
What you discovered concerns me greatly.
Today, Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf sat down with us in her office. We asked about ongoing problems at the hotel and whether city inspectors are doing enough.
It concerns me about the veracity of the owner and whether or not something was covered up. It concerns me about the performance of our city employees, but it mostly concerns me about our system.
Schaaf says she wants a more proactive inspection process citywide and supports a demand in this lawsuit to place the Empyrion Towers in receivership, taking day-to-day control of the building away from the current owner, Alice Zay.
I could tell you some of these tenants are going to be looking at this and saying, what's taking so long?
I believe that what we really need to do is be proactive, is intervene long before things get to this state.
Now, this lawsuit filed by the city also names that former owner, Richard Singer. It alleges he still has some control of the hotel, but in an email to me, Singer insisted he does not. As for the tenants, the city hopes the lawsuit forces improvements at the hotel without having to shut it down, so no one ends up on the street. Eric Rasmussen, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Frustration is growing tonight for tenants forced out of their apartments at a residential hotel in downtown Oakland after contaminated water prompted the city to red tag the building. Two Investigates has been exposing problems there at the Empyrion Tower since January, but this latest issue may be the worst. KTVU's Eric Rasmussen returned to the hotel today to get some answers.
What's up, man? It was not the welcome home Curtis Davis expected. The front door of the Empyrion Towers, red tagged, unsafe to enter.
I'm like shaking right now.
Out of town last night.
It is not open.
Davis wasn't around for the chaotic scene when more than 50 residents were told they had to go. East Bay mud identified coliform bacteria often found in sewage in the drinking water after several people at the hotel got sick.
They're saying that we'd only be out for like 4 or 5 hours.
Now, hotel management is paying for long-term residents, including Lydia Hamilton, to spend a second night at a Motel 6 about 7 miles away until the water is deemed safe. Crews flushed the system today and tested the water.
Nothing on camera.
Off camera, a city inspector told us stagnant water in the lines running through a vacant office on the first floor might be the cause of the contamination. Two Investigates first exposed a variety of problems and code violations at the hotel in February. Last month, the city of Oakland sued the owners of the Empyrean Towers, alleging the building is a public nuisance. Today, an attorney for the owner, Alice Zay, sent us a statement saying management has been committed to the welfare of tenants. But the same attorney told KTVU preliminary test results of the hotel's own independent water samples came back negative. A final word on water quality isn't expected until Saturday. Residents, including Davis, who depend on this hotel for basic shelter, are fed up.
This constant battle of people homeless, people sick, it's frustrating and ridiculous.
In Oakland, Eric Rasmussen, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Big changes are finally coming to a notorious residential hotel in Oakland. And tonight, the city attorney is crediting Two Investigates for exposing unsafe and unsanitary conditions. The problems were so serious, an Alameda County judge recently decided the owners of the Empyrion Towers should no longer be allowed to run the hotel in downtown Oakland.
Today, KTVU's Eric Rasmussen spoke with a man who's now in charge of finally getting that place fixed up. Eric.
Ken, he's the head of a firm that specializes in these kinds of court-ordered reforms, and in this case, he told me there's a lot of work to be done. Today, Mark Adams of the California Receivership Group officially took control of the Empyrean Towers. Two Investigates started uncovering dangerous conditions 6 months ago, including a broken elevator, leaking pipes, and later contaminated water that even made some tenants sick. In April, Oakland City Attorney Barbara Parker sued the owners of the hotel over a long list of problems and asked the judge to place the property in receivership. Last week, a judge agreed to do just that, taking control of the hotel away from that woman, the owner Alice Zay. Today, long-term tenants told me the court's decision is a victory for those who call this place home.
We won. It was a real big win to win the receivership here.
Why is that important?
Well, instead of having Band-Aid jobs, we'll have real work done.
We're going to have to really upgrade the whole electrical because there's circuit breakers blowing all over. But mainly it's a lot of just almost deferred maintenance. I mean, it's just, you know, there's a lot of stuff that should have been done in the units that hasn't been done.
Now, Adams, the new man in charge, says the process of fixing up the hotel could take 6 months to a year to complete. He hasn't put a dollar value on the job, but the money to do it will come out of the property itself. There could be a special lien placed on the hotel before the owners can sell it or take back control. Now, we contacted the owners about all of this. We're still waiting for a comment. Today, I also spoke with the Oakland City Attorney's office. Lawyers are still seeking an injunction against the hotel owners for unlawful evictions, and they're demanding the city be paid back for all of the inspections it's performed. They tell me one inspector has had to visit that hotel 33 times in just the last 6 months. Eric Rasmussen, KTVU, Fox 2 News.